All right, welcome back. Today we're going to approach this video a slightly different way. Rather than discuss a specific tactic and test it, we're going to discuss tactical mentalities and how those are affecting your outcomes in Football Manager 23. So we're going to start by discussing the narrow diamond tactic that we just reviewed in test number 1 for the Football Manager 23 game. Now, this tactic has shown a ton of success. I'm hearing great feedback from people who are using it in their beta saves, and it's been doing great for me at FC Basel in my beta save on Twitch. There's a link in the description to my Twitch channel. Make sure you follow the channel so you can see me play tactics and discuss them live whenever I am live streaming. So now, this tactic plays on attacking, and it plays a high press with a higher defensive line. This is meant to take the initiative in most games and really get you on the front foot and hopefully put you in the lead. Now, one of the things I'm noticing and hearing from Football Manager 23 is that a lot of you are conceding late and dropping points to the AI. Something that maybe you're picking up on, and I am as well, is that the AI is so much better getting aggressive from the 60th, 70th minute forward if the game is tied and they're at home or if they are losing. Now, that's something that in the past the AI would wait much later to do, if doing it at all. And the AI is making much better decisions about match flow and when to turn the screws, when to start really kind of pushing forward. Now, if you stay in this attacking tactic with the higher defensive line, with the high press mentality, you are going to concede in transition to an opponent, especially the AI, who has all of a sudden gotten more aggressive. What should you do to stop it? Well, that's what the rest of this video is going to be about. It's exactly the same, except for a few very big differences in the instructions. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the mentality has changed from attacking to balanced. I'm not a huge fan yet of cautious unless you're playing a low block. However, this tactic has changed to a mid block. Now, what I love about the mid block is you still have a threat and an outlet going forwards, so that when you are suffocating that offensive movement by your opponent by sitting deeper, you still do have an offensive outlet to aim for. The low block sometimes suffers from being able to get the ball out into an offensive position to start a little bit of possession football, but the mid block can do that. So that's what we've changed to. So we've gone to a balanced mentality. That is the first thing. And if you check again now between the two, we have also turned off run into defense. The opponent is going to be pressing more and more aggressively. So if you are still running at their defenders, you are going to lose the ball. You want to pass around their press, keep the ball moving when you do have it on offense, and running into the defense is going to work against that. So we've turned that off in the late game here to try and see out the result. Now, transition, also huge changes to transition. We are no longer counter pressing, and we have no longer restricted goalkeeper distribution. You want your goalie to have choices to make. You don't want them taking a short kick or rolling it out when all of a sudden the opponent has a front four or a front three that has amped up their pressing intensity and their offensive line of engagement. You need your goalie and your defense to have options, and restricting them with distribution and distribution type instructions is something that can get you into a lot of trouble and really highlight some mental attribute deficiencies in your defenders. If they have low vision, if they have low technique, if they have low anticipation, if they have low decision making, they're going to make mistakes. And so you want to take those decisions out of their hands and give them the opportunity just to thump it long if they need to, rather than try to tiki-taka around the box while the AI is starting to execute a press that they haven't been doing all game. So that is another huge change here to trying to see out the results in the FM23 match engine. Additionally, we have changed from a high press to a mid block and a higher defensive line to standard. I'm not a huge fan of lower yet, and I haven't really worked out low block, and hopefully there'll be a video later about how best to do low block tactics. I know that Bust the Net, a good friend of mine and someone who helped develop the Total Tactics tester, does have a video out on the low blocks, and the link to that video is in the description. So if you want to get a little bit more details on low blocks, make sure you check out Duljeet or Bust the Net's video on the low block. But for me, standard and mid block is the way to see out this game. We also have the pressing trap still turned on as trap inside because we want those midfielders and those strikers and those inverted wing backs funneling the play inside where we have a lot of congestion, and we want to try to keep them from making these deadly overlapping runs that can really sort of expose the diamond tactics sometimes. But if we're able to funnel people inside, then I think we have a good job and good possibilities to combat that. So in my save with FC Basel on Twitch, I have noticed this balanced mentality has been very good at putting games to bed. If we're attacking most of the game and then we drop down to balanced, we are seeing out results that otherwise maybe would have led to, early in my match engine days, a comeback by the opposition. Additionally, this is a tactic and an approach that you should be using in more situations than just when you're leading. And that's what the next part of the video is about. Tactics are just not plug and play anymore. When you are playing against an opponent that is better than you, or a league rival and you're on the road, or a situation where you're just assuming that your opponent has to win and needs to win, then you should consider a more reserved mentality from the very start of the game. If you are playing on the road against your league rival and you come out attacking, they are going to punish you. If you're playing against a team better than you and come out attacking, they are going to punish you. Using a mid-block balanced approach in those games gives you a chance to get a foothold in the game while still having offensive outlets to counterattack and score. Something that I also didn't talk about before when we were discussing the tactic is that I also took off counter press on those balanced mentalities. And I think that is something that's very important. If you leave counter on, but turn off counter and press against the teams that are better than you, that you have a difficult time pressing anyway, making sure that your players maintain a strong foundation of defense and just being ready to launch a counterattack is what actually serves you much better offensively than the counter press. Counter pressing a team full of technical defenders and midfielders is going to be very difficult. They're going to have great vision, they're going to move that ball around, and you're not going to get it. So if you instead just go ahead and turn off counter press but leave counter on, you'll have excellent attacking outlets and still plenty of goals to come from your tactics. So remember, when you are playing from behind, when you're playing from in front and in the lead, switch mentalities. Be aggressive in the changes that you make. Be proactive. Don't wait for them to concede. You have a 2-goal lead in the 60 minutes, go balanced. Turn off counter pressing. Drop to a mid block. Lower your defensive line of engagement to standard instead of higher. Make those changes and give the opposition less to work with. Don't give them easy transitions because your players are high up the pitch. And when you're playing teams that are better than you, or teams that are rivals, or teams that just really need a win, make sure you are backing off a little bit and controlling the game rather than opening yourself up to mistakes by your players because of what you're asking them to do, or stamina issues as well if you play the whole game on press. The whole point is, in this FM23 match engine, which I think is very strong, you need to change the way you play your games and matches in Football Manager 23. If you've enjoyed this video and think this will give you a hand on your tactics and preventing yourself from getting sacked and having a run of bad results in your leagues, consider supporting the stream on Patreon. I have recently started one. The link is in the description. It is the best way to support the Total Tactics Discord, the Total Tactics testing, and me as a creator making these tactics and videos for you. There are a lot of special benefits that you can get from being a patron, including a shout out on the videos, which we'll do right now. Shout out to Mate Benchik again for being the first patron of the channel, and I can't wait to meet more of you through this process. Access to exclusive tactics, early access to new testing resources, which will always be free, but the Patreons will get the first chance to use them. And just other access to tactical reviews, to Discord calls, to private drafts, to whatever. So lots of options there in the Patreon tier, so I hope you get involved. And If you can't be a patron, please subscribe to the channel. Pop a like on the video and let me know how your tactics are going in the comments. I'd love to read them and interact with you, and just join the Discord and be a part of it going forward. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot more of you and discussing tactics whenever I'm on Discord. So please get involved, and hopefully we'll be back. For sure we'll be back next week, or maybe even on the weekend with an extra upload with more FM23 tactics for you to download and try in your save. I am delaying some of those releases a little bit until we get to the actual full version of the game and we can start testing with the actual full match engine, but I do have a couple other treats for you in store, and you have those to look forward to. But until then, enjoy FM23 beta, and I'll see you next time.